Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is my review for Power Rangers Dino Fury Episode 3, and the plot follows. The Rangers intercept a mysterious message from outer space, and Zato is desperate to know if it was sent from his home planet. Unable to understand it, and losing hope, Zato remembers another important message from his past. So I enjoyed this because I thought it was interesting seeing Zato kind of a little bit depressed. You know, he misses his homeland. He's 65 million years old. He doesn't know if any of his family is alive, or they're probably not, but any people from his home planet alive. So he has no way to connect with them. He has this crystal necklace that his mother gave him, and a message comes then from outer space, and he's trying to understand it, but they have no way of using the machine to understand it. But by the end of the episode, he realizes that the crystal is actually the key that they need to read messages and understand messages, but the message is in a different language, so they can't understand it. And at the end of the episode, Zato puts out a feeler into the universe, into space, saying that if there's anyone left from my home planet, I am on a place called Earth. I would love to meet you and love to connect with you. And I wonder, will that come back into it? And will a person from his home planet end up coming to Earth? Will it be a bad guy? Will it be a good guy? Will it be somebody who becomes a Power Ranger, whether it be black or yellow or green? What kind of Power Rangers are we going to see in the coming episodes? Because in this episode, we still only have 3 Power Rangers. We still only have the pink, the blue, and the red. So far, I'm liking that because we're building up to getting a powerful Power Rangers team instead of just having a team assembled at once right now, ready to go. I like how the Power Ranger team is kind of building up to something. It could have 4, it could have 5, it could have 6 members, but right now they just have 3, and they struggle at the moment to fight some of the monsters, to take down a Void Knight and Mucus and those kind of characters, which I really like how there's kind of a struggle. But in this episode, not really much happened. I wouldn't say it's my favorite episode of the season so far. Probably the pilot, number 1, was my favorite so far. Number 2 was pretty good, but this one, nothing really happened. There was a monster that came that can mind control people through her eyes. She sends out like through all like platforms, TV, computers. If you look at her in the eyes, she can kind of mind control you or freeze you then. So that was kind of interesting ploy used by that villain. And Zato is the only one who didn't kind of get mind controlled. Amelia is. Ollie is as well. So they're kind of frozen. So it was interesting because Zato has to come up with a plan to figure out how to beat this monster on his own without his friends, without his power suit, because he decides to cover his eyes, which was actually interesting because it worked for him. He covered his eyes, and he's able to use his hearing to fight the monster, and it works out for him, and he's able to break the device that is kind of making everyone frozen. So then Ollie and Amelia come back, they help, they power up, and they take on the monster. So that was, the action sequences so far this season have been pretty good. I have enjoyed them. You know, there is one part of the season I have not liked so far, and I understand it's a kids TV show and it's for kids. It's Jane, who's kind of the boss at the BuzzFeed place, the place that Amelia works at. She has this kind of robotic sidekick now. I just cringe and I look at it. It isn't that funny. It isn't that good. I don't know what direction they're trying to go in. Maybe it's just for comedic moments. But as I said last week, I'm okay with Jane and her robot being comedic and those kind of cheesy dialogues and moments, because you know what? The core base of the season and the series so far with Amelia, Zato, and Ollie has been pretty serious, and some of the acting has been pretty good, and some of the dialogue has been pretty good as well. You know, so I can live with some cheesy stuff on the side. And in this episode, they go to a fortune teller as well, and to try and find out some information to see if something is true. Ollie kind of doesn't believe in that stuff, and he tries to test out the fortune teller, saying me and Amelia are in love, so what does our future hold? And the fortune teller goes, you guys have a promising future, and all this kind of stuff. So then they know that the fortune teller isn't really reliable. But I will say, as the season goes on, will Amelia and Ollie get together? Will they be in a relationship? Will they fall in love with each other? That could happen, and then the fortune teller will actually be right. So I thought that was interesting. We'll have to see how that develops. But yeah, the action this episode was pretty good. The sword fight was awesome. We got to see the pink sword, we got to see the blue sword come together with Zato's, and I thought it looked pretty cool, and I liked it. I liked how it formed into a robot and to take on the monster at the end, and of course successfully beating the monster at the end like they always do. But I think the monster in this one was called Viper or Vipera or something like that. And yeah, the suit was okay, but it was alright. And Void Knight wasn't in this episode that much. My favourite character of this show so far is Void Knight, and he didn't appear until the very very last seconds of the episode to try and get the spork, which of course the Power Rangers defeated the monster, and then the monsters turn back into a spork where they become more powerful, and Void Knight is using the sporks to use them for his device to create something that we don't know about. So I was a little bit disappointed that Void Knight wasn't in this episode that much, because I do like his dialogue, the suit is awesome, and the villain, I'm just really into the villain right now and what he's trying to do with his plan. But Mucus came back, and as I said, I like how they're not just killing off the monsters episode after episode. I like how there's recurring monsters that might pop up for 2 or 3 episodes, and it's something that I hope they do for the rest of the season, because it just seems it gets a bit boring when they just beat a monster every single episode. Okay, new monster, beat it, new monster, beat it. I like when there's recurring monsters and they kind of come back, and they kind of do, because the sporks live on and they're more powerful. So maybe the big finale of this entire arc will be all of the sporks come back even more powerful. So that might be hard for the Power Rangers to fight, and maybe that's why they need more Power Rangers in the end, and we could get some crossover elements as the season goes on. But yeah, overall, the episode was okay. Some of the cheesy moments didn't really stick for me, but the action, as always, has been pretty good this season. The theme song, the music has been top-notch. Really enjoyed that kind of stuff. More Void Knight, please. Really interested in that. Zeto, Ollie, and Amelia are all likable Power Rangers, but I can't wait to see how the team develops and how it gets even bigger as we go forward. But yeah, looking forward to next week's episode to see how it goes. I hope it's a little bit better. I hope the villain is a bit more scarier, a bit more intimidating. You know, we got Zolon as well there. The kind of dinosaur, I think, is a pretty interesting character as well, and seems like a very older character. But yeah, as I said at the end of the episode, Zeto put out a feeler into the universe to see if there's anyone out there from his own planet that might come to Earth. So it could be a villain, it could be a new Power Ranger, it could be absolutely anybody. That's something that we have to see how it progresses. But guys, what was your thoughts on Dino Fury episode 3 titled Lost Signal? Did you like it? What's my favourite of the season so far? I still like the very first episode. 2 was pretty good also. I think it's just because Void Knight is such a good, interesting character. When he's not in an episode, it could be a downfall for this show, so hopefully next week he's in it more. But guys, give a like, comment, subscribe, come follow me on all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. That stuff's in the end credits of the videos. And guys, let me know your thoughts on Power Rangers in general. What does it mean to you in your childhood? What's your favourite season? Who's your favourite character of all time? I'm really, really interested in that. Okay guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and have a good day. I'll see you then.